Israelis themselves are deeply divided on the topic of the judiciary, but they are unified by a deep distrust of the political and bureaucratic institutions that are making the decision. This is the latest in a poll by Israel's Democracy Institute. The poll found that 57% of Israelis supported the High Court's power to overturn laws, but simultaneously, only 41% of Israelis even trusted the court to make decisions. But far fewer still trust Israel's parliament. Less than 1 in 6 Israelis had a good opinion of the legislature. And political parties were down to just 1 in 10 when it came to trust. But even more concerning is just how Israelis feel about their place in society, with less than half being optimistic for the future. For more on the growing fractures in Israeli society and their implications, we are joined in studio by Ben Dror Yemini, a senior journalist and analyst with Israel's Yediot Ahronoth newspaper. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What do we make of what seems to be these growing rifts in Israeli society, political polarization, and what seems to be intense hatred from each wing of Israeli politics?
Okay, let me tell you something. I'm trying to zoom out. I mean, when we speak about that kind of issue, and I'm checking what's happening in some Western countries, speaking about France, speaking about Germany, Sweden, and some other countries, and you can see the same kind of phenomena: distrust and the rising of right-wing and even extreme right-wing parties. It's something which is happening because of a lot of things. I mean, each state with its own reasons. It's not always the same. Generally speaking, people are afraid about their national identity, which is in a way collapsing because of immigration, because of a lot of other reasons. But it's something which is happening. Something like that is happening in Israel. Let's bear in mind, I mean, we are speaking a lot about the rise of the extreme right. Last election, that Itamar Ben-Gvir, the most extremist right-winger in the Israeli parliament, when he ran by himself, it was 0.42. Not long time ago, there was a change, and the big change was the riots of May 21. But something of that kind also happened in Sweden. They had riots of immigrants, namely Muslims, and immediately after, the right-wing party became bigger, and now they have a right-wing coalition. So it's not something which is unique to Israel. It's not unique. So I guess when we look, even if we are even zooming out more, the gaps between Arabs and Jews in Israel are becoming smaller. 30% of the doctors in the hospitals, more than what they are represented in the society, and so on. You can see a lot of good signs. We do not see it yet in the polls, maybe, but facts on the ground, things in some aspects are even getting better.
But I think the key question here, because you mentioned all these other countries, the far right rose to prominence in most of these countries because native populations did not believe that the government and institutional systems represent their interest or represent them. Israelis don't believe that their government or their institutions represents them or does their bidding. Why do Israelis feel betrayed by their government in this way?
Because of the coalition system. The coalition system is always going to the extremes. For example, right now, we are all under not the rule of the Likud party, because many parts of the coalition agreements, for example, are forced by who? By ultra-Orthodox or ultra-right-wing parties. So that's something which is even the Likud supporters. They are not extremists, but they feel frustrated. Come on, I mean, it's not what we wanted. It's not what we wanted, this kind of coalition. But they voted for this coalition. So the system, the whole system, is problematic, is part of the problem of the Israeli society. I hope they will be clever enough to do something in order to change it and to change also the mood.
So I guess whose interests are being served if it's not the voters?
That's a very good question. I'll tell you why. I mean, those who benefit from it are always the extremists. I mean, look at the power of Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir and the ultra-Orthodox. They are powerful. And the Knesset members from the Likud are frustrated. I mean, what about us? What about us? They are asking. I mean, because most people voted for us, not for them. But yes, we are all hijacked by the extremists in a way.